Hiya folks, this is sort of a quick one. I've just built this little camera boom. This is a Mark 1 version because I've got a small workshop and I want to be able to film stuff better in here, and just for me if not for you guys, you know what I mean. My workshop stuff don't get very many views, and they're probably not very well filmed, although I did have fun with my son making the chair, which that video sort of brought me onto building this camera boom. The reason being is it's a small space, and the other day when trying to film I knocked that camera onto the floor, which fortunately didn't break. Now I'm going to show you what I've done. This is a prototype, and next week I will be redoing this. I've got some other ideas and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and there'll be a video up of the build but actually filmed better, which would be nice, wouldn't it, you know. But the main reason, like I said, I've got two tripods. I've got this big tripod which if I put it on the floor in here it takes up a huge footprint, so if I'm moving stuff around and I've got a camera on it, it's dead easy just to catch my foot under it like I just have done there. It pulls it across the floor. Obviously it's in the way, it's great for some stuff, but on the other hand in this space it's not very good. So that's one thing, and like I said, if I've got the small one set up, which you're on now, on the workbench, take space up on workbench, it's dead easy just to move something, push it over the edge, like I said, like I did, and so I thought I would build this. And what I also did while I was doing it, I thought, well, I'll have a light on it. Now this is inspired by a couple of videos, one from John Heiss. He's got a complete trolley system on roof, what would you say, a gantry, and another one was sort of inspired by Fisher Shop, which I'm sure his were inspired originally by John Heiss. So there's a couple of videos that have come out and that are out, that have been out a long time, one of them, and it sort of made me think about doing this. I've also put a light on it. Now I don't know whether you can tell, but I'll switch it off. Does it make a lot of difference? I'll show you what this does, and I'll tell you reasons behind me making it even more, apart from stuff being in the way. But basically I can move this right around. Let me try and set you up somewhere else. This is the problem, see? And I'll show you some views from this. But basically I've got a light on it, so wherever I'm working I can put a light. This is just a really small builder's light. I was picking some stuff up at the store the other day for this, I only went for 2 screws. I'm in the dark, aren't I? But that's so much better for lighting. But the idea is that now I can film all the way around. I can film over the workbench if I were to be doing some carving work. I can film what I'm doing under here. I'll move you again. So I can set it up. This is actually set up. See, I'll switch it off. This is actually set up. I had to put a piece of paper over that as a filter because it's a work light. It's a spot lamp, so it's a little bit bright. So that wants some sort of filter, which I'll probably build anyway. But it's also set up so that the camera I'm filming on now will screw onto it. I actually had a small broken tripod, so I took the fitting off that and fitted it onto this piece of ply, and I actually went and bought some more 6mm so I can set it up different if I want to do. I'll explain you what I'm going to change, just so that it'll give you an idea what I'm going to be doing next week on this. Again, it's all scrap wood. This is just 2x1 roofing lat. I made a couple of screw nuts, but what I did is I wanted it to spin, and I thought I had a wheel that the bearings had gone, you know, a dolly wheel, and the bearings had gone in the wheel. But obviously this piece works, but the problem with this piece is it racks like crazy. Yeah, so I'm going to redo that in a different way. And people with gantries have got the gantries running along the wall, yeah, and John Hines works in all directions, which is super. But in this space, and because this is a lot lower than the rest of the ceiling, and this is only insulated, it's not something I can really I can do in here. And my head height's important. If I were to go to that extreme, then what would happen is I'd lose head height here, and sometimes you've got to move stuff around and I'd be smashing into it, and I just don't want to be doing that. So my solution to that is to rebuild something similar to that, but out of plywood and just stuff I've got here. I'm not going out and spending money because I'm tight like that, but I'm thinking of making a shoe and socket sort of thing, where this could be positioned, say, over there in one position, over here in one position, and over here in one position. The other advantage to, well, not advantage to show is, but the other advantage I've got here also is that everything's on wheels. So in reality, if there was something I really needed to film or wanted to film and get a decent shot, I can, just due to the fact that I can roll stuff under here, which gets me right over to bandsaw, or I can move bandsaw in slightly. It gets me right over the workbench. It will still have this 360 sort of view, and obviously lighting aspect on it makes a lot of difference for me if I'm filming, or even just doing something that I'm not filming. That light sort of gets me right where I need it to be, especially over the bench, which I'll like very much. So if you would like to see this build, leave a thumbs up and a comment that you'd like to see it, because I thought it might be interesting to people with small shops, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with shoe idea and how well it works or not. But so far, just throwing this together, what I've put together so far in a couple of hours, is so much better than using that or this in this space. Don't forget, nice to be nice. Nice to be nice.